Hey PowerAppers, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Todd Baginski, and I've got another great video for you about PowerApps here today. This is an exciting new capability with PowerApps, and it was just released into preview. I think maybe 10 days ago or so. It was announced on the PowerApps team blog, something like that, early August. But whatever the case may be, this new PowerApps capability is really powerful because what it allows you to do is it allows you to share your PowerApps with users who are not part of your organization. So you could either call them external users or you could call them guest users, whatever you'd like. The bottom line is they don't have an account in your Azure Active Directory. And previously, it was impossible to share a PowerApp with someone like that. But now this capability is there. And that really lights up the opportunity to use PowerApps to build solutions that allow you to work with people external to your company, like your partners, your vendors, whatever they may be that you hire to do the job. Now they can use your PowerApps too. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to grant access to guest or external users to PowerApps in your organization. Let's get started now. Thankfully, this is a very easy process to do. So what you're going to do to share the Power App with an external or guest user is the following. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to head over to the Azure portal. So this is portal.azure.com. And you're going to sign in here. And you're going to need to sign in with the user who has permissions to actually add guest users to your Active Directory and apply licenses to them. So after you've signed in, click the Azure Active Directory tab on the left side, just like that. Then click the Users button, like that. So now you're in the Users tab, and you're going to see New Guest User right here. So you're going to click on New Guest User, and now you're going to type in the email address for that guest user. Here you can see I've entered in my email address as well as the invitation I wish to put in the message that will be sent to them. So when I'm done doing that, I'll then click the Invite button. So that user has now been successfully invited, and the Azure portal tells you about that in the alert. Now, in addition to adding the user to your directory, what you need to do is you need to apply a license to that user so they can use the Power App. To do that, go back to Azure Active Directory, and this time, instead of users, select licenses, like you see here. Once you're on the licenses page, click on the products that you've purchased. You can see this link right here. In this tenant, there have been 9 products purchased. After you get to this page, the next thing you're going to do is select which license you would like to assign to your user. In this case, I'm going to use the PowerApps Plan 2 trial. Here I can see a list of all the users that have access to my system with this license. Then I will click the Assign button. Now I will select the user that I just created. After I select the user, I click the Select button. Then I click the Assignment options. This opens up a dialog which allows us to turn on or off different pieces of this license. For this example, I'll leave them all on and click OK. Next, I'll click the Assign button. This will now successfully assign the license to that user. Now I'm able to invite the user to use the Power App. Some folks may prefer to use the Microsoft 365 Admin Center to assign licenses. The page to do that looks like this. To get to the page, sign into the Admin Center, then open up the Billing section and select Licenses. Then select the license type you would like to assign, just like we did before in the Azure portal. You can see that this user has already been assigned this license, but if I wanted to assign that to somebody, I would just pick Assign Licenses, type in their username here to locate that user, that I had just created. Then again, select which services are turned on and off and click the Assign button. So it's up to you which one you use. It's just two different ways to go about it. Now, to actually share the Power App with this guest or external user and allow them to access the Power App, you'll go to the PowerApps admin portal like this. Then you'll select Apps. After you've selected the apps, find the app that you wish to share. In this case, I'm going to share this app here. This is the Book a Room PowerApps sample template. You can download this PowerApps sample template on web.powerapps.com by simply going to the Create an App page like this, and then selecting that Power App. Here it is. After you select it, you can give it a name and click Create, and it will appear in your list of apps, just like you see it here in mine. Now, to share the app, you're going to click the ellipsis next to the name of the app and select Share. Now, type in the name of that email address that you put in before. As you can see, I don't even have to type the whole thing, and it shows here's my guest account, and it indicates it is a guest by putting guest in parentheses. Now, I click this button here, and it will grant the user access. Notice that the guest can be a user, but not a co-owner of the app. This means that these guest users cannot edit or share the app or delete it or change who the owner is. The following shows you the data permissions that the user must have to access your app, and if you leave this checkbox at the bottom checked, when you click Share, they will also receive an invitation to this Power App that you're sharing with them. So I'm going to click Share now. Now the permissions for this app have been updated, and my guest user will be able to access the Power App. You may be wondering what this experience looks like from the point of view of the guest or external user who was just invited to our directory as well as to the Power App. So I'm going to show you the emails that that user has received. This is the first email that the user received. You can see here that inside of this email, here is the organization that invited me. That's my company. And I've been invited by this organization by the tenant admin, which is who I was logged in with. And here's that message I typed in. So if I click this link, this will actually grant me access to that particular account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now click this button here to sign in with this account, and then I will enter my password. Next, I type in my password and click the Sign In button. Now it will show me the permissions that have been requested. It says that the Canvas organization can sign me in and read my name, email address, and photo. That sounds pretty reasonable to me, so I'll accept. If you don't accept here, you will not be able to use this account in this guest directory, or I should say the guest account in this Active Directory. Now that I'm signed in, the next thing I can do is open up the email that invited me to use the Power App. The email looks like this. You can see that it looks pretty standard and just like the other invites you'd get when you're invited to use a Power App, even if you're not a guest user. It tells me who shared the app with me and the name of the app as well as the environment that the app lives in. When I click the Open the App link, I'm actually going to copy that hyperlink, and what I'm going to do is go over to a fresh browser here in Edge where I have not signed into anything, and I'm going to paste that link and navigate to it. I once again will be prompted here to authenticate. And the reason I got this error is because I thought I had signed out from this particular browser before, but I had not. So what I'm going to do now is, you can see here's my work account signed in, but I'm actually going to sign out now, and then I'm going to sign back in to this web browser with the actual external user account that it was shared with. So I'm going to paste back in that URL that was in the invite and select the other account that I wish to use to access it now. Here we can see that I've typed in the name of my account. Now I click the Next button. The next thing I do is enter the password. Now that I've typed in my password, I can click the Sign In button. Once I've clicked the Sign In button, you can see that I am prompted to allow the different connections and the permissions associated with this Power App. I simply click the Allow button to do that. Now I'm able to open the Power App, and as you can see, I'm signed in as my guest user. So that sums it up for how you can share a Power App with an external, or what some other folks like to call, a guest user. Thanks again for watching. I hope that was helpful for you. You know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified whenever I drop a new video, and share it with somebody else too. Do you need any help with PowerApps, Flow, SharePoint? If you do, reach out to me on canvas.com. I work with people we meet on YouTube all the time. And finally, if you'd like to see some more PowerApps videos, check them out down at the bottom here. Have a good one.